Okay, how about some of you districts that are in qualification for area manager? Would you stand up? Okay, how about all of our area managers? Okay, do we have anybody in qualification for region in this room? Regional vice presidents, would you stand up right here? Okay, and then the top level of the company, national vice president, which all of you NVPs stand up. Okay. Well, good morning, you guys, and I'm so excited that you could be in Knoxville, Tennessee. I know some of you came from New York. Yeah, there's the New Yorkers. Did anybody travel over 6 hours? Would you just stand up if you traveled over 6 hours to get here? Stand up. So that is, and we just know that it's going to be well worth the travel. That's what I'm going to say. And what I would encourage you guys, first of all, I want you to feel very comfortable. I wish we had more time. The lines took a little longer. I was going to make all the NVPs come up and dance for you. Terry's looking at me like, there's no time, so shoot. But that is our biggest thing, is that we want you to feel comfortable, but also we want you to feel challenged. So both of them at the same time. And what I would encourage you guys to do is ask them or take notes today, because you're going to hear so much good training that sometimes we want to take word for word. What I would tell you is kind of soak it in, and when something is like, whoa, write it down. Because then you can implement it and you can change your business and take it to the next level. So we're going to get started right away, and we're actually going to get started with hearing about our new product. How many of you ordered Genius already? Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty, I've already gone through an entire bottle because I don't do the directions. I use it as my lotion. So, yeah. Mixed it with the firming cream, and it lasts a little longer. But I'm excited to introduce EMVP Lisa Voorhees to come up and share about the Genius. So Lisa, come on up here, girl. Where is she? Attention, Lisa Voorhees. She's in the back. So, is Scott in the house? Scott, are you here? Maybe we should do our dance. NVPs, RVPs, come up to the front, turn up the music. Some man, we need a really high energy, fun music. Come on, I'm not kidding. NVPs, RVPs, come up to the front. We're going to do a little everybody. Okay, so we're going to do a little farming body freeze.
No, I feel the thing moving as it is.
Run to the, restroom. I'm Lisa Voorhees. I'm an Executive National Vice President and Independent Consultant with Arbonne. And we have some exciting, super crazy, great stuff going on. My background mean, Arbonne is just taking everything to a whole new level. And I'm here today to talk a little bit about our most exciting new product. And how many people, raise your hand if you are able to sell Genius for Body because you did 1,000 PRV last month? Congratulations! Congratulations. So this officially launches in September, but here is Arbonne Intelligence Genius Booster Serum for Body. And let me get my clicker here. It's basically the natural progression. Genius resurfacing pads have been a huge success. Let's give a big round of applause for Genius pads. What do they actually do? And I was like, you know how when you have an older wood floor and then you refinish it? Okay, well that's what it does for your skin. It just brightens everything up and it looks so much better. It's like what it is naturally, only crazy great. It took off all of the scarring and gave it a whole new finish. So Genius resurfacing pads have been huge for our business. You see immediate results. I'm 52 years old and I just can't say enough about them. I mean, I was starting to see, even though I use Arbonne and have for 16 years, I was starting to see those little signs of aging and it completely wiped it away. So what Genius pads did for the face, the booster serum, the body booster I like to call it, will do for the body, and it's the natural progression. So it launches officially September 2nd, and it's a super concentrated super serum. So make sure underline concentrated. It's a small bottle. So let people know it's concentrated and it's a super serum. Basically, it's unparalleled in the marketplace, meaning we are the first to put this combination of ingredients together and nothing else anywhere is like it. Some companies will advertise some buzz ingredients right now, like red algae, and we definitely have red algae in this, but that's not all we have. So this is standalone in the marketplace. It also contains the same PBR plus complex that the Genius pads contain, but it also contains more, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Now, it's super lightweight, and it's beautiful. Have you gotten any into use yet? Okay, you can come up to me later, not to be weird, and say, can I feel your arm? Yes. Because it just makes your skin feel fantastic and look fantastic. So here are some key areas where the body starts to age. And people who are interested in anti-aging for the face are interested in anti-aging for the body. I'm going to use myself as an example. Okay, no matter how much I worked out, I still had 2 knees because of the slackening of my skin. And those who are in their 50s will know what I'm talking about. And it's like the skin on top of the muscle becomes slack. And you start seeing little fine lines even on your body. But there are some key areas where customers are going to see aging and they're going to want, it's going to resonate with them. So the décolleté is the area, the first area. The sun always shines here. And of course we want everyone to use firming neck cream and to treat their décolleté and neck area, but this place is always showing when you're out in the sun, and you can tell because people have the little up and down lines there from sun damage. So this décolleté area gets damaged, and the body boost serum is going to work fantastically almost immediately on that area, and people won't want to be without it, because I promise you, women who are my age, we hate seeing that the crisscross lines there. So the back of the arms also show aging, and the hands. We call them grandma hands. Like, I've got a super great, youthful looking face, but don't look at my hands because they look like grandma hands, and that's where my age starts to show. Ladies who are starting to see that don't want to see that. They hate it. You know, if you talk to some customers, they hate it. So this helps with the grandma hands thing, because hands from driving take the brunt of sun damage. The back of thighs, actually mine are the front of my thighs, but let's just say the back of thighs. Whoever wrote this, we all know what they're talking about, right? What part of the back of the thighs show aging. So basically, it's all areas that women are seeing aging. Here's the problem, you guys. Healthy skin, you'll see the crisscross lines there. Collagen is like a netting. It's like that. It's like a netting on the skin. And because of sun damage and because of wear and tear, the collagen netting starts to break down. That's why we see slackened skin. And you'll see because of stress and UV damage or sun damage and environmental effects like toxins, the collagen netting breaks down. That's what RE9 Advanced works on, is the collagen netting, really helping the skin knit itself back together. It's collagen netting back together. And so you'll see that healthy collagen looks like a net, and damaged collagen has holes in it, basically. It becomes looser in its structure. And so you'll see the décolleté area there, having the lines, the back of hands. People are noticing that, and if you're at a group presentation, whatever your team does to get in front of people, you can share that this is a super serum that amps up any body lotion that you're using, but particularly works well with Arbonne. Have you ever sat down to close someone and they're like, I've got everything already. I just bought all this stuff at the la counter. And you can say, well, actually, you can put this product right in that body serum and it'll amp it up. So this is a great way to add on. But the solution for that is the Arbonne Intelligence Body Serum, the solution for slackened skin. It's lightweight, concentrated, the PBR complex. It's 2 pumps into your body lotion. So it's a concentrate that's added to body lotion. You can use it directly on the skin for targeted areas, but it's mainly made to amp up your body lotion that you're currently using. It looks beautiful on the body. When you put it on, it immediately makes a difference in the way the body looks. And the key ingredients in the PBR complex are sea buckthorn, Jania rubens, which is the red algae, and peptides. Peptides are a huge buzzword in the anti-aging realm today. Peptides, ceramides, retinoids. Okay, all of those big buzzwords that are flying around in anti-aging circles in the marketplace are all in this product. Ceramides, peptides, red algae, and retinoids, all in this serum. So, what is the PBR complex, the PBR Plus complex? We know the P stands for phytonol. It's made from alfalfa, is one of the key ingredients. Now, here's a little tip. If you start thinking that you need to know these ingredients, you're absolutely wrong. Because people will start to glaze over at your group presentations because no one, maybe a few people here, but most people did not like science class. They didn't like it. So they start to glaze over. So don't lose them. Here's how I'm going to sell it. It's a super serum for slackened skin. Yeah, there's your training. Sorry, I'm going to read my slide though. Anyway, PBR's phytonol, and then the B.
This away, but someone did leave this at the registration table. It's a very nice umbrella, but I'll have someone claim it. Maybe we'll raffle it later. But just so you don't have it in the front. First off, thank you very much for having me here. I know Heather feels bad. She was going to do a pre-recorded video. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to do it, so now I am. First off, I want to say thank you to our speakers, and then mostly I really want to give a big shout out for all our volunteers. So if our volunteers wouldn't mind standing up, let's give a big round of applause. My name is Scott Ross, and I've actually been with Arbonne just over 7.5 years now. And I work in the field development office along with a lovely lady over here in the back corner. You can't really see her, Stacy Conley.
She does.
Just a couple of fun facts. I'm not going to be up here. You're not here to hear me. I just want to give you a couple of updates from the home office. First off, the Impact Training Tour. Who's a first-timer for ITT? Wow, that is incredible. And just to let you know, we had over 50 people registered on site today, which is pretty incredible too. So this year we're visiting over 15 cities around the U.S. and a total of over 9,500 people have registered. That's 25% more than we had last year. The growth for this company right now is just incredible, people. You guys are here at the right time, at the right place. And a couple fun facts for you. Big congratulations to everyone. Our RV and QE is up 23% year-to-date, July 2014 versus July 2013. That's pretty incredible. Consultant sponsoring is up 45% year-over-year. It's incredible. And then PC enrollment is up 22%. So just staggering numbers, and it's because of all of you. I mean, all of your hard work, your dedication, and we just love helping you all. So I know sometimes people say, well, have you ever thought about becoming a consultant? No, I love what I do. I appreciate what you all do too. We work together. And then lastly, I know we have at lunchtime we'll have this ingenious product out so people can try it. We'll also have the holiday products on display so you can check it out. There are some I Want It All order forms in your folders, so if you want to fill those out, drop those off with us. You'll keep the yellow copy, we'll take the white copy. There's also some handouts and some fun facts and things for you too. All the raffle tickets, so you know, goes towards the Arbonne Training Foundation. And just so you know, we've raised over $1.5 million for the foundation thus far. So it's really incredible things. And that's really, I just want to say thank you so much for having us here. Thank you for being here. I know it's never easy, especially on the weekends, but just so appreciate being here. Thanks for all that you do.
I love hearing those numbers. I need an umbrella. Oh, is it yours? It's this nice lady right here. Oh, goodness. Okay, so up first for our consultant training to really help you grow your business is a dear friend of mine, Tara Bradshaw, ENVP. And I know so many of you probably met her or heard her, but a couple things you guys should know about her. First of all, she's a wife. Oh, there's a baby. I love the little babies. She's got 3 beautiful children. And in our previous catalog, 2 of her little girls, the really white blonde, curly little haired girls, they're so adorable. Her two little girls, and then the apple of her eye, her baby boy. And she's a CPA. She has built her organization to be over $1 million business monthly. That's pretty amazing, right? I bet all of us want to be there.
Yes.
And more than that, I think everything she's going to share with you guys is just going to help every area of your life. And so be ready to take really good notes, but just to soak in everything that she's going to share with you guys to help you move your businesses and to grow where she's at. So you guys, why don't y'all stand up and welcome Tara Bradshaw from Colorado. Out of like the little concourse thing, and I have to go to an outside concourse, which you don't really do in Denver, and I'm like, I am flying on that all the way to Knoxville. It was like the size of, we have a Yukon. It was like the size of a Yukon. And I sent a picture to my husband and I'm like, look at what I'm flying halfway across the country to. And he's like, cozy, does it have Wi-Fi? And I'm like, no, I hope it has bathrooms, for goodness sake. It was so tiny. So I made it here alive, but thank you for the warm introduction, Emily. Emily and I have had the pleasure to really get to know each other with our spouses too on several MVP Challenge trips. So it's just the amazing friendships I think might be one of the best perks of what we do. So Emily kind of introduced a little bit of me. Where I'm going to share just a couple things about where I was when I started my business. I started 9 years ago, and at the time I loved what I did. There was a CPA, and you guys are like, oh, fun, and I did love it. But I was pregnant with my first daughter, and so I have done this business in every aspect, working a full-time job, bringing little babies, putting the daycare, and then, stepping away and being at home. And so I really love the training topic, and I just get giddy about this topic because I truly feel like so much of your success in this business becomes how you can control what goes on up here. So I believe that when it comes to minding your mind, which is the topic of my training, it really takes being mentally stronger than everyone else. It takes having a big picture vision of what you want to achieve, and really finally being focused about your activity, about what you need to do to move this business forward. So as we all close out this year, 2014, and we head into the year 2015, I challenge you guys to have the best mindset, the best attitude, and the best work ethic you can, and see what you can do when you focus on just working towards your best when you do this business. So what I'm going to talk about is how to be your best every single day. And I'm first going to talk about how do you be your best, being mentally stronger. Mindset, I believe, is 90% of our Arbonne journey. I love this quote in one of my favorite books I've read recently is called Training Camp by John Gordon, and he says, "Today's world is no longer a sprint or a marathon. It's a series of sprints combined with a boxing match. You're not just running; you're getting hit along the way. You're getting hit by life. You're getting hit on the field.
You're getting hit by the critics and doubters, and even at times by the people closest to you. And the best are able to respond and overcome all of this with mental and emotional toughness. You guys, I remember thinking, we all have naysayers and doubters, and I remember thinking, instead of talking to these doubters and the naysayers, I was just going to prove it on the field. Like, if someone says I can't do something, that fires me up, and I'm like, I'll show you that this can be done. So what I did is I just proved it with my activity and practice and just logging more hours. The people, my parents were probably two of my biggest naysayers in the beginning because I was doing what my mom did and she was very successful with what she did. So I was following in her footsteps and this was not what she had done. And so it was different for her. So I chose not to talk.
The cubicles sat empty. The employees were home in hopes that Arbonne's gifts soon would home. Consultants drove Mercedes to deliver sweet gifts with peppermint and sugar melon filling their wish lists. And Kay donning a fab scarf and Stian in his vest. Laughed and celebrated at a party of the best. Back at home, for a holiday open house, everyone was ordering gifts, even my spouse. New PCs and business builders would soon be mine. This holiday season was mine to shine. I looked up from my catalog to see a thick, deep fog. Then out in the sky appeared a star of wonder. I saw pallets and fragrances fill the tree under. Away to my laptop I hurried in a flash, buying gifts like shea butter to add to my stash. More bubble bath, more eyeshadow, pure vibrance and more. Purple mascara galore. Now shop away, happy holidays to all. There you go. Gotta love home office. So, I've been asked to share some tips about how to maximize this holiday opportunity, right? So we have all of these incredible products, we've got all these incredible deals, we've got stockings, we have the hype of the holidays just in general out of to buy everything. If you want to just get a couple things, that's what I did my first Christmas. I bought the peppermint set, I bought some bubble bath, and I bought the shea butter, we got it for free. And I incorporated that into my presentations and just used those products to kind of help theme up my party presentations and then passed out the catalogs with the regular ones. So that leads me to the last thing about being prepared is theme it up a little bit. Honestly, the holidays come early in Arbonne. It's the holiday season now for us. And so as you're starting to come into your presentations in September, don't be afraid to go get one of those cute little like desk Christmas trees, swap out your scarf, put a little, holiday candle on your table, and maybe start tying, candy canes or peppermints to your gifts as you start bringing your hostesses their party gifts. So maybe theme it up now so that you get people into the spirit. Another really fun thing would be play holiday music at your parties instead of spa music. That would be kind of fun. I think it would get people kind of, maybe make people laugh at the very least. Okay, so that's just a couple things to get prepared, but here's kind of the kicker, these last two tips. The second one is to make sure that you beware of holiday-itis. Don't ever think that you're going to be able to duplicate what we do in the final months of the year, in the final quarter. These holiday products tend to boost revenue and it's exciting, but you have to make sure that you're maintaining your personal activity and taking that part seriously. Don't let this be in place of your personal activity. Make sure that it's just sort of combined in and mixed in. That way you can make sure you're staying in momentum and coming into the new year with your hair on fire, which is always the goal. So you want to incorporate that. Solid activity in September, October, and November. 8 to 10 party presentations is ideal. But what I want to encourage you guys to do is, rather than pushing to put a bunch of parties into December, plan on December not being a great presentation month. And I'm not saying that to scare you, I just want to be realistic. It's hard to keep parties on the calendar, and I'm saying party, and I'm sorry, that's the verbiage I use with my team. I know people say presentations and classes and things like that, so just bear with me. But ultimately, plan on those dropping off quite significantly in the month of December. And there's ways that you can kind of prepare for that and stay in momentum coming into the new year. So what my upline taught me to do and what I did was, rather than booking in from November directly into December, I booked into the beginning part of December and then I put a ton of activity into January. Now I know some of you might be thinking January is a really tough month because people are going to be cashed out, it's just after the holidays. You guys, I got started in Arbonne in January, and I booked 16 spot party presentations and went district in 1 month in January. So I know that that's a great month to get started. It's also a great month to kick up momentum. So don't come into this with fear. Just come in with a plan and be prepared. The other thing I want to give you some warning on is that if you do book parties from November into January, we always talk about how it can be a little tricky where parties will still drop off because it's so far out. Just kick up that hostess coaching. Kick it up like 10 notches and be just that much more on purpose about keeping your calendar for January coming into the new year. I do want to suggest packing it full. Maybe suggest like 14 presentations on the calendar. That doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily execute 14, but you might have 4 to 5, maybe 6 fall off still, and you'll still end up with a full calendar at the end of the day. Okay, so just gotta think smart. One other thing that my upline taught me that I'm telling you guys, it's crazy the revenue that can come in from this. So maybe you have low activity in December, so how do you float revenue-wise to get through that month and make sure that you're still promoting and working your business and getting to the next level? Obviously, anyone that knows me well knows that I don't really love talking a lot about sales and RV because we really focus on activity and we know and trust that the revenue will take care of itself. So we're very, very activity-based, but in the month of December, you kind of have to be a little bit revenue-based, don't you? Because the activity's not there. So what my upline Heidi Niss told me to do was get those catalogs, like I was telling you before, the regular catalogs, and make sure that you plan on having about 40 to 50 catalog parties. Send those out to your preferred clients, your friends, your family members, and have them do a catalog party. You guys, I did the math, and even if only 20 of them come back with a $250 party or a $250 order, that's $5K right there, just by sending out some catalogs. That's going to float you through the month, plus a couple of spot party presentations or classes or whatever you guys do. That's going to really help keep the momentum for December. One thing that you could do is incentivize your PCs and incentivize your clients and just tell them, hey, if you'd be willing to have this little catalog party for me, if you reach that $250 reward, I'll pay your hostess fee for you. And then if they love it and they had a great time, then book a presentation with them for January and see if you can come over and give everybody, free facials or whatever it is that you guys are doing.
You're fine.
And then all of you managers in the room, it would be wise to connect with your VP and talk to them about some incentives that you can do for your team. Some kind of a you and new challenge. If you don't know what you and new means, talk to your upline and ask them. And they'll be able to piece together a fun little incentive. People love working for that stuff. And it doesn't really cost a lot of money to put a challenge out because the volume that comes back pays for it. So talk to your leaders about putting out a little challenge for your team. You'd be surprised how people will push hard for that. And then the third thing is wish lists. And this kind of ties back into floating yourself through December because I cannot tell you enough. Like I wanted there to be a huge neon sign over my head. Please expect December's activity to be rough. So you've got to find tricky ways to float you through it. Wish lists work, you guys. There should be a slide that you guys can put up, and maybe it's not up there, but there should be a wish list on the source that you can print off. And it's handy, man. You can just bring it with you to all of your presentations. You can mail it out to your friends, your family, your clients. Start doing that right now and have them fill it out and put the gift giver's name and phone number. Obviously, tell them to give their gift giver a heads up that you're going to be calling. But follow up with that person. I think it's kind of cool that we can actually start stockpiling all of the orders that we're going to be able to put in. Now, there's two things I want to say. If you get back an Arbonne holiday wish list where they actually put in all holiday products, I suggest purchasing that right away and putting that order through because the holiday products do sell out, you guys. They sell out quick. Like October, November, some of the things go out of stock. So just be prepared for that and put through those orders right away to help keep your volume healthy through the final quarter. But if it's a regular item that's in our everyday catalog, why not hold on to that order and place it between the 1st and 10th of December and have that volume go into your December month? I also want to encourage you guys to, when you're mailing out these catalog parties, I don't think there's anything wrong with sending the holiday catalogs out for that, but if you think about it, if it's December and you're going to be placing a whole bunch of orders and a ton of the holiday catalog is already sold out, it would make most sense probably to gear towards more of our normal products. spots for the later catalog parties floating you through. So stick with holiday for September, October, November. Really make that, a really fun thing for people to purchase. But then as you get closer to the holidays, start working our regular catalog and have that help you from a volume standpoint. So I think I kind of breezed through this. I don't even know how much there really is to say, but I think that the biggest thing is to not be afraid of the holidays, you guys. And I don't even know how many of you have been through one before, but it is a really fun time. It's a festive time, and it's a great time to build a team. People are looking for money to get through purchasing gifts and putting them under the tree. And so this is also a great time to be out asking people, are you looking for a part-time job to get you through the holiday season? Arbonne is a great way to supplement your income and be able to do that. So don't be afraid to offer this as a part-time opportunity for somebody, and you'd be surprised how they might come into this and realize that this is something they want to do for a lifetime. So those are just a couple of really practical, basic tips. Apply them. It will push you through the holidays, push you right into the new year, and you might even see that your business can promote very quickly in the final quarter if you just be prepared. So
I was thinking, what is maximizing the opportunity? And so I'm a bullet point person. I'm simple. Everything needs to be simple for me. In fact, a week ago I was thinking about what I was going to talk about today, and I was thinking of all these complex things because, man, the Arbonne opportunity, there's so many details. And I decided to boil it down to 4 things. And I'm going to tell you those 4 things, and then I'm going to go over them. Number 1, you have to know what you have. Number 2, you have to know what you want. Number 3, you have to know that you're good. And number 4, you have to know what to do. But I think the first thing is know what you have. And I actually sat down, and you guys know what we have in our hands. And this is going to grow as you go to more events. So here's a little list of things. As far as doing network marketing and doing Arbonne, you get to set your own schedule, choose how hard or how not hard you work. You have no boss, you have no cap, you have unlimited income potential, you have no overhead, no expenses, you have a success plan that was proved and developed, so it's not a guessing plan. Most small businesses that start, it's, man, here's 100,000 or more, and boy, I hope we can work it. I'm going to work 80 to 100 hours a week, and boy, I hope we make it. You guys, we're in a business that it's a proven plan. There's no guesswork, right? If you follow success. So don't go make up your own plan. Follow your MVP's success plan, okay? You have support, you have training, no risk. $79 to sign up as a consultant. How many of you leave Target spending less than $79? Ever. Never. It's funny because my husband was like, I went in for literally like some bread and something, I don't know, at our Target. And I came out with a shirt and like a decoration thing and a pair of kids' shoes or something. I forgot. It was random things. He was like, how did you do that? I said, I just walked and grabbed, So you can't spend less than that. And that's how much it is to sign up as a consultant. And then let's say you buy all the products you need to do. Let's say a group presentation. I spent about $400. How many of you went to college and earned a degree spending less than $400? Right, that's funny. That is funny. So this is the whole idea that I've spent about $450. And you don't even have to. I've had women on my team that have earned their way in with a lot of sweat equity. Truly, a lot of sweat equity. I bought product. $500 or less. And I built a huge business that's retired my husband and I. Is that crazy? So think of that opportunity. So training, low cost, our heritage, this is what I'd encourage you to do. Go online and watch our Arbonne opportunity video, as well as anything you can find on Peter Morick. He was the founder of our company. I didn't get to meet him, and I really wish I did. He wore bright red glasses, and I've heard plenty of stories. I wish I could share stories today. We don't have the time, but he had a heart of gold in helping other people transform their life. And the thing is we've been around for over 35 years, so we've got this stability, this long-term business, but also we're on this fast growth. You heard some of those numbers earlier, right? So think about this. And then the heritage of quality. This is the thing. More and more people are saying, I want quality of life, quality in product, quality, quality, quality. There junk, inexpensive, whatever's easy, right? And Arbonne is that beautiful, luxury, special, unique, and built on that. We were green before it was cool. That's what I tell people. So in the last 15 years, green has become the in thing. So a lot of people shop organic. They have no clue why. It is true. There are people that, you'll hear them talk about something that's environmentally friendly or healthy or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, so why did you do that? Well, the actresses are, right? It's a popular thing to be green. And so Arbonne was it when it was the right thing. So we've got amazing heritage, unparalleled products, you guys. If you kind of wonder if these products are as good as they are, start researching. Now, you don't need to know every ingredient, but I'll tell you what I did to build my belief. I took one product, I took a baby product. I started looking up ingredients in that baby product. Every ingredient, I was like, what? This is dealing with inflammation, this is dealing with moisturization, this is, it built my belief in one product. I was sold on everything. And the thing is as you read and use these products and hear stories, it will build your belief. And you'll start thinking, man, we should be higher in cost. Because we're a prestigious skincare company, and yet we're not at that cost, you guys. Because we're network marketing, we can be less expensive. And then the home office, they do our job, and they do their job so we can do our job. And the great thing is they do the stuff we don't want to do, right? We get to go help people with Arbonne products and fun things, and they do all the behind-the-scenes stuff that we don't have to do, which is wonderful. So I'm going to share a little bit of my story with you all. Before I start out, I just want to know how many of you first heard about Arbonne through a spa night or a presentation of some sort? You all are sweethearts, and you should pat yourself on the back, because I was that me that avoided a very specific lady at church every Sunday because she was in a multi-level, and she would stalk me. So my idea of this industry was, there's no polite word for it. I mean, there's just not. So the first time I ever heard about Arbonne was not at a spa night. I would have loved it had I gone, because our nights are amazing. But my husband introduced me to Arbonne. He had come home from work one day and just very sheepishly told me that the lady whose door he had just installed had sent some stuff home with him. And it was over there on the bar if I wanted to go look at it. So I know that he was kind of nervous about telling me just because of the way I felt about, things like this. So I glanced over at the counter and I just said, yeah, right. And he bravely went on to tell me that the woman and her husband both stayed at home and raised their kids, as if that's actually possible. And then that she was very nice, not pushy at all, probably someone that if I were to meet, we would hit it off and be friends. And by the way, she was on the cover of the catalog. That's whose house he was at, so I should check it out. That's what he said, and then just walked away. So I glanced at her picture, and that's where I sat for 3 months. So I didn't even try the samples. So next time you're thinking about somebody, you're like, she'd never do it, it's worth loving on her a little bit, because you never know where she's coming from. So to give you guys, a little bit of a snapshot of our life at that point, it wasn't that I was a meanie, I was just, my story is, I guess, a little similar to Emily's. Josh and I were 18 and 20 when we got married. So when I started out, let's back up. When I was a little girl, I knew God had big plans for my life. And I didn't know what it was, but I just knew that it was going to be something big. And I went to Covenant College. I was a cross-cultural missions major, and I did not plan on getting married, much less having 6 kids. So,
Wow.
my best friend's little brother changed that pretty quickly. The plan was, initially, baby steps, right? The plan was, let's just get married, and we'll work our way through college. And 5 weeks later, after our marriage, I was pregnant with my daughter, Eve. So, if we hold hands, there's a baby. So, I homeschooled. Missions did not
instruments. We're a very artistic family. And, you know, between school and the lessons and, you know, having a baby every year and a half, I was busier than anybody I knew. I didn't have time for friends. I didn't have time for relationships. I didn't have time to do anything except run from poopy diaper to school lesson. Like, that was like literally my life. So my husband has always owned his own business so that I could stay at home and homeschool our kids. But when the economy was struggling, he started to work for a bigger company to kind of keep our family stable. And we worked really hard, but we were happy. One day in November, Josh came home from work with only half of a paycheck. No warning. Then no paycheck. And it just kept happening. The company was secretly going under, but they kept the whole business working with the promise that everything was going to be fine, and they were just waiting for their biggest job to pay them for 3 months. So we had no Christmas presents. I literally spent 2 weeks straight knitting hats, really cool ones, for each one of my kids, because they had no presents. We found out we were going to lose our house, and I was pregnant again. So Claire is 3 years younger than our other kids, so believe it or not, I was really surprised. So we moved in with family, and you know, I couldn't understand how this could happen. We worked so hard, we were hard workers, you know, I couldn't understand how this could happen. And, you know, we did move in with family, and but my husband's reputation was in Asheville. So some of our friends were kind enough to let us stay with them while we tried to get back on our feet. And I know everybody's story is different, but you cannot imagine how embarrassing it is to be pregnant with your 6th baby and living with friends. It's not like people on the outside know we were responsibly working, and there was no, you know, nobody knows that. They just look at you and they're like, oh, honey, why do you have 6 kids then? You know? And so it was really embarrassing. So when Josh installed Valerie Gunter's front door that day, I was just overwhelmed, you know? I didn't know if I believed in the possibility of doing big things anymore, you know? Sorry, I moved a little bit. So, you know, where was that? Where was that big thing that God had called me to do? So 3 months later, I gave Val a call, and we met downtown, and we did hit it off immediately. I mean, she was covered in baby puke, and I was lost. I was late. So we just, you know, got along so well. We talked for hours, and, you know, as embarrassed as I was, I don't know why I told her, but some of her story came out. She wasn't recruiting me, she was just my friend. So imagine if you all are meeting someone for the business over coffee, and that's the story they give you. Not really your ideal candidate for an ace. There's my next ace right there. No. Thank goodness she was MVP already and had the courage to just say, Crystal, do you know what I do? And so I said, no, I have no idea. And with that, Val spoke life and hope back into my family.
To open up your calendar. Consistency, you guys, and like anything else, you have to be consistent to achieve results. I'm actually doing the Arbonne 28-day detox right now, and it's amazing. I've tried it in the past, but I first of all didn't commit to it really, and
Children and generations to come, you have to actually build a team. So how do we do that? So that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. Prospecting and follow-up. So one thing I want to say is, you know, belief in the products in Arbonne is so easy. Sorry. Belief in the products is easy because we know they sell themselves. They're amazing. You know, that's really just a no-brainer. And even what that will do is that will bring you in lots of clients, lots of preferred clients, and even lots of hosts. And so what I like to tell my team is, you know, when you start the business at the consultant level, and even really as a district manager, you can do that all by yourself. You can get there on your own. You can't really do beyond district. You can do a lot of sales and get to area on your own, but it's really tough to sustain long term. And so you really do need a team if you want to get beyond district manager. So belief in yourself has to be huge, as well as belief in this business opportunity and what you actually have to offer other people. And so belief, and that's really the difference between those two things, is the difference between a little bit of extra spending money, paying a bill or two each month, and life-changing income. So which would you guys rather have, right? Life-changing income. I think most of us would agree there. So one thing that I want to just Isn't that amazing? The power of duplication, right? It only takes, a half a dozen people, and then teaching them how to duplicate and find a team and do the same thing, and then you've got an entire amazing room full of people that you've helped just change a few lives and share this business with. Another thing I want to ask you guys is, every one of you in this room, someone offered you this business, right? Whether at a presentation or out in the world, out and about, right? Same with me. I did not go to a presentation. I was not offered this business. My story is kind of similar to Crystal's, how I was offered this business by a friend that just thought of me and knew that I was looking for something other than a daycare business in my home after having been in corporate America for 12 years. And I just wanted to be home with my little girls. The daycare was not cutting it for me. But I was very skeptical of these kinds of businesses. And so I am just so grateful that all of the hesitations and fears and all those things that I was worried about, did any one of you, raise your hand if you started this business without a single fear or hesitation? Right, nobody. Okay, so imagine if the person that introduced this business to you heard your fears and hesitations and then just thought, oh, okay, well, I understand, this isn't for you, I'll just go find someone else that really wants it. None of you would be here today. None of you. None of us. We have to learn how to overcome, validate people's feelings, validate their fears, and then work to overcome that and reassure them that those things are normal. And so, how do we find these prospects, right? Everyone wants to know that. We know that we're naturally going to find them, at get-togethers. And so, what I want to just say is, if you haven't already done this, and you guys are already all here, so most of you I know are already doing our run, but if you haven't already go ahead and make your 100-person list, is what we call that. And that's really just a way to organize everybody that you know, friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, people that you went to college with, high school with. I even put down some of my husband's friends that I just kind of knew. They don't have to be personal, close friends and people that you talk to daily. You guys, when I started my business up in Michigan, I had only been living there a couple of years. I grew up in Ohio, 8 hours away. Both my husband and I, everybody we knew was in Ohio. So I really had to kind of start I think I came up with 20 people on that list when I started. So I had to really think outside the box. And that's, what we hear a lot is, oh, I just don't know anyone. Or, what do I do when I run out of people? Okay? And so here's the thing. Until you walked into your local mall, and you can confidently say, I have either spoken to every single person about Arbonne that's in this mall, or I know that every single person already has a consultant, or is already doing this business, or a different network marketing business, then you can say confidently you've run out of people. But anyone with skin and hair can benefit from the products or the business. Okay, so one thing I do want to stress is, when you're making that list, never prejudge. When you're thinking of people to write down your several hundred Facebook friends, write them all down on that list. I actually call people that I went to high school with 10 years earlier, and believe it or not, I wanted this so badly, and I just needed area manager income, like Emily was talking about. That's all that I needed to get started, or to get to. That was what I saw. I just needed the area manager to get rid of my daycare business. And that sounds harsh, but changing diapers all day long while I'm making my phone calls, cut it for about 7 months, and I was done. And so I was willing to really just do about whatever it took. And honestly, I actually drove. I would book 3 or 4 spa parties in a weekend, like between a Thursday and a Sunday, drive my girls with me. My in-laws would watch them while I went and did my parties. And then I would do all the rebookings the same weekend the following month. Now, I'm not saying drive 8 hours. But I lived in this teeny tiny town in northern Michigan, and I didn't really know anyone, so I was willing to do whatever it took. I would drive 4 hours to Chicago. I drove downstate Michigan 3-4 hours. So again, it's all about how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do to make this happen? And so I will stress to you when you're making this list and you're starting to call people, always lead with the business first. I can't stress that enough. We call and you want to get your calendar full right away, of course. But when you're making these phone calls, when it's appropriate and it's someone you know well enough to be able to offer them this business because of whatever reason you thought of them. Maybe they mentioned to you that their family struggles, or they've got 3 part-time jobs on top of their full-time job, or they're in school full-time plus working full-time, and they never see their kids. And so, think of people that, lots of people that we can think of for lots of different reasons could benefit from this opportunity. So don't ever prejudge and just assume that chicken list. The people that you either don't write down or the people that you kind of just skip over when you're making those calls. Does anyone just skip over a few names here and there because you're afraid? So those are the people that when your heart starts racing a little bit, those are the phone calls you should make because that'll probably be your next MVP. So this is my favorite part, is just talking off the cuff. I'm so happy to be here and share with all of you guys. So let me just first pull up this picture. Let's see here. Yeah. That's my family. Isn't my husband cute? So cute. Sorry. So let me take out my gum, because that would be bad if I had gum in my mouth. So I got started, you guys, in Arbonne about 2.5 years ago. And I keep telling people that I just got started, and Heidi's like, Kim, you have to stop telling people that you just got started. She's like, you have been in it long enough that you can say you've been in it for a little while. But the truth is I still just feel like such a brand new consultant. I feel like I have acquired a lot of information over the first 2.5 years about how to be good at this, but I always feel like there's so much for me to learn. So I've never stopped being a student along the way, I assure you. So everything I share with you, it comes from just a place of my experience in the last couple of years. I got started in Arbonne by default. I, along with many others, started with a lot of skepticism. I really did not enjoy the idea of network marketing simply because anyone I'd ever seen do it basically bought a whole bunch of stuff, threw some parties for mom, sister, cousin, and aunt, and then fizzled out and quit, right? And I watched a lot of people do that, and then like in the process, they were like throwing their catalog in your face, and you're avoiding them down like the aisle 11 at Target because you don't want to see them, and you know, they generally were just kind of pushy, and so I just didn't want to be that girl, you know? So network marketing in general just was not for me. But I, with my husband for a number of years, we lived paycheck to paycheck, and I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but we did all the responsible things. You know, I was a good girl in high school, and I went to college, and I got my first job, and got married, and we had kids, and like you'd think that after being responsible and working so hard that I would have a life that was prosperous, right? Like I could be a grown-up for real and have, you know, bills and car payments and everything would be okay though. But that wasn't the way that it panned out for us. And so we worked together year after year, just with our 2 little boys, Tucker and Isaac on the bottom left, working so hard to make ends meet, but we just honestly lived beyond our paycheck just about every single month. And we decided after a while that that was just kind of our lot in life. You know, we settled into that idea that we were just going to always be a little bit broke. And we were okay with that. Frugal family. I'm cool with that. I can make that work. But then I lost my job. And that was when everything went downhill very quickly. And we were left with absolutely nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean we were selling furniture on Craigslist the morning that I met with Heidi because I literally needed to put money in my gas tank just to be able to drive to like, you know, the grocery store to maybe buy food. It was really bad. So that was kind of where we were at when I first heard about Arbonne, and I did call it Arbonne for about a week. In fact, if you've seen my opportunity video that I made, I call it Arbonne in the video, which I think is funny. But I met with Heidi, and for the sake of time, I can't take you through all of the thought process I went through, but really, she just said, Cammy, listen, bottom line is, me, my mom, my sister, my aunt, and 30 plus other people in my downline, we've all followed this system to the top of the company. And if you just be a copycat of me and let me teach you what I do, you can have what I have. And I went home with a lot of fear and a lot of skepticism, and you know, my family was extremely unsupportive. My dad sent me a long email telling me that I absolutely should not do Arbonne, which was really sad because I just booked all my spa party presentations and was really nervous, and it really took the wind out of my sails. It really did. Broke my heart into a billion pieces. But I decided that I was going to do it anyway, and I wanted him to just trust me that I thought I was onto something. I called my sister, Maddie, and asked her if she would book a spa party. She said, nope, not interested. I was like, well, thanks for nothing. So she then came to my mom's party, who I had to beg to book a party for me, and she tried to cancel on me twice. My mother, I'm like, come on. So I said, please don't cancel. So she's like, oh, fine. So Maddie, my sister, shows up at my mom's party and drags her BFF with her for a glass of wine and a foot soak. Figured they wouldn't buy a thing. In fact, I think they didn't buy anything, now that I'm thinking about it. But I actually was able to jump in with both feet, and within 6 months earned the white Mercedes at regional vice president level, making that 6-figure salary I'd always dreamed of. And within my first year, right at my 1-year mark, went nation. And it was because, let's see here. Okay, this picture on the left. So, do you see the girl that I'm standing with on the right? That's my sister, the one that wouldn't book a party for me. She's a national vice president in Arbonne. Okay, wait, here's the kicker. So she's in the picture in front of the girl with the black and white. The girl right in front of her is my sister. See the girl in front of her? That's the friend she dragged with her to the party. How funny is that, right? So you just never know. So don't ever let parties cancel because you might end up missing out on 2 regional and national vice presidents. Goodness gracious, I can't imagine if I let my mom cancel where I'd be today. So, you know, it's been a really fun journey, and I remember, it's so funny, I want to go back to this picture because I want to talk about my toot-toot up in the top left. So, he's our most recent development. This is Brooks, and I always tell everybody that he's my best Arbonne incentive yet because he's truly my Arbonne baby. We couldn't afford to have more kids. I'm going to get emotional. Oh my gosh, stop it. Squeeze your butt cheeks. So he really is truly my best Arbonne incentive because I remember when I went with Jen, my big splurgy purchase was a fancy pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses. You know, I never would buy something like that normally, and so that was super fun when I went with Jen. I felt so fancy. And then when I went nation, my husband was like, well, what are you going to do? You want to like buy a diamond? And I said, nope, I want to have another baby. And so he was like, well, when do you want to get started? So I was like, right now, let's do this. So we got like 5 minutes later, literally. And you know, we had Brooks. So thank you, Arbonne, for Brooks. Oh, guys, my tip is this. You gotta do the work even when you don't feel like it. You cannot run your business on emotion. And we are naturally emotional people. Most of us in this room are women, so we're extra special because we're extra specially emotional. And that's okay. That's the way we're woven together, and God made us that way for a reason. And I think that that's why this business is so amazing and wonderful, is because, you know, it's a relationship people business. We gotta have emotions in order to be good at this, right? But I think that it's fair to say that we are conditioned to let our emotions guide us, and you really need to unlearn that a little bit. You lose all logic when you let emotions creep into your day-to-day business, okay? So don't think about how you feel. Think about what you know. What do you know you're supposed to be doing? You guys don't need us to stand up here and tell you that you need to do your party presentations and you need to prospect people and you need to build your building blocks. You really know all that stuff. So it's good to be reminded, but really what you need to do is stop thinking about your business and start working it and just ripping off the Band-Aid and start doing the uncomfortable stuff, okay? So realize that this is really, frankly, the only thing that you have control over in this business. That's it. That's the one thing you have control over is your own self, and whether or not you're going to have a pity party and pout because you have an empty calendar, or are you going to do something about it? So let me just tell you a quick story. When I was in my 3rd month of Arbonne, I was really excited because I had just brought on 2 amazing people under me, and I had to get my booty into high gear because they were in high gear. And so I was really excited, and I had 10 party presentations in the month of March. Well, within 8 days of that month starting, 8 of those 10 party presentations canceled within a week's time of each other. So I was left with 2, and then that one that I had left moved into the next month. So I was down to 1 party, and I had like 3 weeks left in the month. Guys, I had nothing financially to my name at that point. You don't make a ton of money right when you get started. So that would have been a really perfect opportunity to throw in the towel and say, this doesn't work. But instead, I called Heidi, had a pity party for 5 minutes. She got my little tushy in gear and said, you know what to do, go do it. That's all she said. I was like, oh crap. I gotta hit the phones. And so I did, and I rebooked 7. I didn't rebook all of them, but I rebooked 7, and I felt pretty stinking good about it. It took 1 hour of just getting it done. Okay, so that's really all that happened. I didn't do anything special or magical. I don't have like a fairy wand to make your business grow. You just got to get your calendar full. That's really all there is to it, and be kind of stubborn about it. You know what I mean? So I think it's fair to say that all of us have experienced an empty calendar, and all that does is make you feel crummy. You feel crummy. And it's easy to go and sit on the couch and just eat a bag of Doritos and watch, daytime television all day and feel bad about it, because for some reason something locks up inside of your brain that makes you just feel so bad, you just don't want to even deal with it. It's easier to avoid it. So here's a suggestion, and then I'm going to get off the stage so that they don't fire me. I want you to stop being so hard on yourself to fix everything all at once. So instead of having an empty calendar and pouting about it, why not just book one party? Just book one presentation, and then feel really good about that. Go outside, lay in the sun for an hour, read a book, take a walk, take a nap, do whatever you want to do, but then the next day when you get up, rinse, repeat. Do it again.
It's a repeat.
Just do one good thing for your business every day. That whole 15 minutes of focus challenge, holy cow, do it. You would not believe where your business will be in 1 month if you just did that. So please, please know that this was not an easy journey for me. It wasn't easy for anyone in my business. This team right here, this is what's amazing about my business. These ladies, these VPs have led huge organizations. And so I'm not amazing, if anything, they are. But this business is awesome, but you have to work it, especially when you don't feel like it. That's my tip.